at you, and that's what, and then you die a week later. And so that's why they're so arrogant. That's why they're like, look, we're going to take your property, we're going to play you all off against each other, and we're going to kill you, and you're going to like it. And that's what the soft kill cancer, the soft kill diabetes, all the things they're putting in the food and water and the shots, everybody getting sick. It's all, I mean, we're just like Africa. Just like Africa, they're killing people there. They're doing it here now. And it's just so sick.
Well, this whole system is worldwide, Alex. Look, I travel to Mexico every month. I go to Tijuana. The streets are bare now because in Mexico, the New World Order, through the complicity of the Mexican government and, of course, the Central Intelligence Agency is probably in there, and through their control of the drug networks, have perpetrated a wave of crime across Mexico. They have justified now the deployment of so much military all across various cities. They deployed like 30,000.
Oh, listen, stay there, Carlos. I'm going to hold you over because I want to hear about this from an eyewitness. But it's admitted 1,000 murders in Nuevo Laredo alone, and another 1,000 just so far this year. That was in a headline Friday out of AFP. Another 1,000 in the town across from El Paso. And that's all by design. And you said microchips. The police are now taking chips. And if you want to work for the Justice Department in Mexico, you've got to take a chip. So, see, it's happening. But I say it's happening. They'll arrest me for being mentally ill, even though it's in the news.
Jim Newcomer from Midas Resources.
Let's skip the break. Let's skip the break.
Gold opened this morning.
John, I want to skip it. I want to go to Carlos. Carlos, I don't want to waste any time. People can pull this up. Google, like, conspiracy theorist, new mental illness designation. And if you think the government's corrupt, they call it opposition something disorder. They've got all these different disorders. But they say that it is a schizophrenic mental illness to say the government wants to put chips in you. But I've had police chiefs on who say, I've got a chip. I want to make everybody take chips in my town, Bergen County. A police chief, they have a police chief for the county in Bergen County. That's across the water from New York, and it's around Newark, New Jersey. I've had all these other people on. I've had the Apply Digital Solutions company owner on, saying they want to make people take microchips. But then it doesn't exist, Carlos, and we're crazy.
Well, Alex, the Plan Mexico, now there was a Plan Colombia where the U.S. government provided so many millions to so-called fight the drug networks, but we know it's being used to create havoc and conflict between both sides. Well, now there's a Plan Mexico where they're appropriating $500 million to fight so-called the drug networks, and we know where that's going. That's going to militarize the whole thing in Mexico. And like I say, when I go to Tijuana, I see all kinds of trucks with military people toting their guns and showing off their guns, and it's a police state basically. People are now intimidated. The streets are bare. The tourism has dropped by 50%.
Well, notice what happened. Calderon steals his way into office, and then magically wars and mass death. I mean, more dangerous than Iraq, folks. Much more. Flare up everywhere. And then we had Sela Castillo on. I keep forgetting. Let's get Sela Castillo back on the show. I'm going to get him back on. Write that down for me. Thanks. All of this just explodes, and the CIA is funding Los Zetas, funding the drug cartels, and they're having wars with the smaller cartels so that the U.S. banks get a monopoly over the drug money, and there is a full-scale war going on, but you hardly hear about it in our news. 2,000 dead on the Texas-Mexico border this year alone. A few years ago, we thought 800 and something was bad. 2,000 dead, hundreds dead on our side, dead U.S. cops, dead citizens, and it's not even hardly in our media again. But some kid shoots somebody and they say let's ban guns in the U.S. So tell me what else you're seeing in Mexico.
Well, I mean, the strides, tremendous strides are being made towards the imposition of the police state. You got in various cities in Mexico now. You got military by the thousands. Culiacan, Tijuana, Monterrey. In Monterrey alone, people are afraid to go nightclubbing because all the nightclubs, they were starting to have many attacks on the nightclubs, many killings, last week, in 3 different states in Mexico, headless bodies popped up all over the place.
Well, they found 8 bodies, 8 bodies, or was it 12 bodies in one day in Yucatan?
Exactly. And it all comes from, of course, the drug networks in conjunction with the gangs, in conjunction with the CIA, and that's all to create an aura of fear to justify the militarization of Mexico and eventually the microchipping of the population.
Well, I agree, and hold on, here we go. All right, we are back live, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking to Carlos in California. I skipped that segment for Infowars.com audio stream listeners and PrisonPlanet.tv viewers. But Carlos was talking about all the deaths. I mean, it's just mass murder, all CIA run down there. And notice it's how right when this president who stole his way into power gets in, suddenly all the mass killing starts. And Bush is talking about $100+ billion to fight the war on drugs. And what's it produce? Tens of thousands dead, total destruction of their tourism. People are starting to not go to Cancun now because of all the murder down there. Society is unraveling. We're becoming cavemen. The crooks that run things now just have no sense. And we're becoming a third world nation just like Mexico. And that's where we're going to go. No middle class, Americans living in cardboard boxes. You wanted it, you're going to get it. Anything else, Carlos?
Well, that's all I'm saying, that people got to be aware that the police is making a lot of headway here, but it's all making a lot of headway in Mexico. And, it's part of the global police state. And so we just got to be aware of all this stuff and just try to do as much as we can to alert our friends, our families, and just get ready and try to, just get active, because there's a lot of people who are just, there's a lot of people out there who are apathetic. They don't care, and that's what's hurting us.
Well, see, now that there's mass killings in almost every town every day, and government-backed, now the government can pose as the savior. It doesn't matter if it's a total dictatorship down there. That's the same thing here. They're fighting terrorism. Thanks for the call, Carlos. Let's talk to Rick in Indiana. Rick, you're on the air.
All right, Alex, good to talk to you, man. First-time caller, long-time listener. I want to read something to you first, man, because I know that you get stressed out. I can see it on the video. I can see it on your face. I understand you get worked up, but I know you're a Christian, and one of the things I want to share with you is for everything that was written in the past was written to teach us, so that through endurance and the encouragement of the Scriptures we might have hope. So keep the light bright, brother. Keep it going. Listen, I work for a broadcast network that you used to be on globally. It was on shortwave and also on one of our FM frequencies. And I asked why you were polled a while back, because they polled you before I actually started working for the company. I thought, well, why would they poll this show? Because you didn't do anything or didn't say anything on the air that really affected anyone in particular. So I started looking into it, and then I was basically told to quit asking questions. You don't want to go there. So I started doing some investigating, got to know some people and some higher-ups in the company, and one of the things I asked was, hey, what do you feel about the NAU? And one of the things that they looked at me kind of funny, like, what do you mean? That's, they gave me a look like, whatever, I'm not worried about that. That's just a bunch of malarkey. You're one of the conspiracy theorists. But yet they had a concern on the CFR. So I thought, this is a Christian company that I work for that's supposed to uphold the truth in all things. And yet, here we are, we're bending backwards for the all-powerful dollar that just keeps seeming to fade. And it just makes me wonder, what can somebody in my position, anybody that would be in this position would want to know what's going on. And here I am.
Well, that's what happens. They need to destroy me because I'm a symbol of the resistance. And people need to realize that they're trying to destroy, and I haven't wanted to be one of the symbols or one of the icons of resistance, but they do that. So I've been thrown off a lot of networks, a lot of affiliates, a lot of sub-networks for talking about 9/11 being an inside job for the things I've done. But that isn't enough for the enemy. They then have to fool the weak-minded out there, and they come out and say, Alex Jones works for ABC. Now, it isn't true.